Dear children, let us continue the chapter Statistics. Now let us discuss about the graphical representation of cumulative frequency distribution. That is about the graphical representation of cumulative frequency distribution. In class 9th, we have represented the data through bar graphs, histograms and frequency polygons. In the previous class, we have drawn the bar graph, histograms, frequency polygons. Frequency polygon. Now let us represent a cumulative frequency distribution graphically. Let us represent cumulative frequency distribution graphically. So, what is cumulative frequency distribution or Ogive? Both are same here. Cumulative frequency distribution is also termed as Ogive. What is this Ogive or cumulative frequency distribution? To draw this graph, here we have to represent the upper limit or lower limit of the class interval on the horizontal axis. We have to mark the upper limit or lower limit of the class intervals on the horizontal axis, that is on the x-axis, and the corresponding cumulative frequencies on the vertical axis, that is on the y-axis. That is by choosing a convenient scale. The scale may not be the same on both the axes. So, this graph is called the Ogive or cumulative frequency distribution. Here, we will take the upper limit and CF, or lower limit and CF. Here, in one case we are taking upper limit on the x-axis and cumulative frequencies on the y-axis, or otherwise we are taking lower limit on the x-axis and corresponding cumulative frequency on the y-axis. And the graph so obtained is called the cumulative frequency curve or Ogive. So, depending upon the upper limit and lower limit, the graphs are called less than Ogive and more than Ogive. Cumulative frequency distribution curve or Ogive are of two types. One is less than type Ogive or less than type cumulative frequency distribution curve, and the second one is more than type Ogive, more than type cumulative frequency distribution curve. Already we have discussed that on the x-axis we are taking either the upper limit or lower limit. If we take the upper limit, then the Ogive formed is less than type Ogive, and if you take the lower limit on the x-axis, then that Ogive is called the more than type. So, if you take upper limit on the x-axis, then the Ogive is less than type. If we take upper limit on x-axis, then it is less than type Ogive. If we take lower limit of the class interval on x-axis, then it is more than type Ogive. So, here what is less than type Ogive? Curve which is obtained by plotting and joining the points of upper limit against corresponding cumulative frequency is called less than type Ogive. So, less than type Ogive is the cumulative frequency curve obtained by drawing the or joining the points of upper limit against the corresponding cumulative frequency. In this case, we are taking the upper limit on the x-axis and cumulative frequency on the y-axis. Here, while drawing the less than type ogive, what you are drawing? We plot the upper limits of the class intervals on the x-axis and their corresponding cumulative frequencies on the y-axis. Then we plot the points on a graph paper and join them by a smooth curve. That curve we get is called cumulative frequency curve or ogive of less than type. Cumulative frequency curve of less than type or ogive of less than type. What is more than type ogive? Curve which is obtained by plotting and joining the point of lower limit against the corresponding cumulative frequency. Here we are taking the lower limit on the x-axis. So how will you draw the more than type? We plot the lower limit of the class interval on the x-axis and their corresponding cumulative frequencies on the y-axis. Then we plot the points on a graph paper and join them by a smooth curve. That curve we get is cumulative frequency curve or ogive of more than type. Cumulative frequency curve or ogive of more than type. In this way, by taking the upper limit on the x-axis, we will get the ogive of less than type, and by taking lower limit on the x-axis, we will get the more than type ogive. Take the first question of the exercise number 4. What is that question? The following distribution gives the daily income of 50 workers of a factory. Daily income is given in terms of the class interval, that is in rupees, 100 to 120, 120 to 140 rupees, 140 to 160 rupees, 160 to 180 rupees, 180 to 200 rupees. How many workers are there? 50. And daily income of 12 workers is from 100 to 120, and the daily income of 14 workers is from 120 to 140, and daily income of 8 workers is 140 to 160 rupees, and the daily income of 6 workers is 160 rupees to 180 rupees, and daily income of 10 workers is 180 rupees to 200 rupees. Convert the distribution above to less than type cumulative frequency distribution. Less than type cumulative frequency distribution and draw the ogive. Here we have to draw the ogive of less than type. You know that for less than type, we have to take the upper limit on the x-axis and the corresponding cumulative frequencies on the y-axis. So you take the upper limit, that is less than 120, less than 140, less than 160, less than 180, less than 200, and the cumulative frequency we have to take. So first you write the less than type cumulative frequency distribution. Cumulative frequency distribution. So first upper limit is 120. So you write less than 120. First you take the column daily income, and number of workers. Number of workers, here we have to take CF. Now the first upper limit is 120, then you write less than 120. Less than 120, that is less than 120 is 12. Less than 120 is 12. Next, less than 140. Right? Less than 140. Less than 140 means here you have to take the sum of these two, that is 12 plus 14. 12 plus 14 is 26. Yeah, up to, that is less than 140 means 12 plus 14. 12 plus 14 is 26. Next, less than 160. Less than 160. Less than 160 is sum of these three. 12 plus 14 plus 8, that is 12 plus 14 already we have taken 26, add 8. 26 plus 8 is 34. That is 34. Less than 160 means up to this one, the sum of all these three, that is 26 plus 8, 34. Next, less than 180. Less than 180. Less than 180 means the sum of all these, that is the sum of these three is 34. 34 plus 6. 34 plus 6, that you will get 40. So less than 180 is 40. Next, less than 200, that is for sum of all, that is 40 plus 10. So you take less than 200. Less than 200 is 40 plus 10, that is 50. 40 plus 10, you got 50 here. Now we have to draw the ogive, that is less than type ogive, less than type cumulative frequency curve we have to draw. So you draw the x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis you take the upper limit of each class, that is 120, 140, 160, 180, 200 we have to take. And on the y-axis we have to take the CF. Taking a suitable scale we have to represent the units. Now you come to the graph. Take the upper limit on the x-axis. This is upper limit on the x-axis and cumulative frequency on the y-axis. We write cumulative frequency on the y-axis. Now this is the origin. Then here the frequency, this class interval starts from the 0. So you take the first one is here. Now you take the starting lower limit. This is 100. Next, that is the upper limit is 120. You take 120. Then less than 140. Less than 160. Less than 180. Less than 200. Here what you have taken, if you want to take scale, 1 unit equals, on x-axis you take x-axis 1 unit equals, how much you have taken, that is 20. Here from 0 to 100 we have taken, that is compressed here. Compressor, so you show here from this to this there are many units here, and here see the difference here 20 20 are, so we have taken 20 here. Next also here you have to take the CF on the y-axis. The minimum is 12, maximum is 50, so you take 10 20 30 like this way for 1 unit. So you take y-axis 1 unit equals how much, 10 CF. This is rupees. Now you take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, like this way. Now the first one, you note here, that is 120, 12. 120, 12 you take. 120 is here, go straight. Then here 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So 1 on means you can take 2. So 12 means this one. This is 12. Next one is 140, 26. 140, 26. This is 140. Go straight to 26. This is 20, 22, 24, 26. You will get here. Then next one is 160, 34. 160, 34. 160 is here. Go straight. 60, 160, 34. 30 is here. 4 means 2 plus 2 you will get here. 34. Next one is 180, 40. 180 is here. 40 you go straight. 40 is here. Then 250, that you know, 250. You take 250. Then you join them with the smooth curve. So this is less than type Ogive. Less than type Ogive. If you are not having graph sheet, then also you can draw here, drawing the two perpendicular axes, x-axis and y-axis, and taking upper limits on the x-axis and cumulative frequency on the y-axis to draw the less than type Ogive. So you take upper limit. Method is same here, and here it is CF, cumulative frequency. Then same scale, that is on x-axis 1 centimeter equals 20 rupees, on y-axis 1 centimeter equals 10 CF. Then here you mark the first one is 100, that is the first lower limit. Next 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. This much is enough. Here also you take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So first one that you know, 120, 12. 120 is here. Go straight. 12 means up to here you can take. This is 120, 12. Next, less than 140. 140, 26. 140 is here. 26 means here you will get 25. Go straight. Approximately you will get here. Next, less than 160, that is 34. So 140, 26 will be here. Next 160, 34. 160, 34. 34 means that is less than 35. So you take. So you will get here. Then 180 40, 180 40 is here. Here you go straight. Then 250, go straight to 250 you will get here. That is 50. Then you draw this line here. Line is, it is a curved line you will get. This is a less than type ogive. In this way, without using the graph sheet also, you can draw the ogive by taking the two perpendicular axes on a plain sheet.